I added the bullet, know thyself, and this is where I was talking about triggers. You have to know your own trigger and your own temperament. The theme of this entire presentation, which will wrap up really lovely in the end, is, again, you can control only who? You. Ever tried to tell a child to stop crying? All you can control is you. So know yourself and know your triggers. Sometimes we start it. Sometimes as parents, we start it and don't even realize it. And I'll give you an example. A year and a half ago when my family relocated, raise your hand if you've ever relocated like across the country. Okay, or the world. Yeah, the world. I had never done this, and spent an entire year of my husband and I living apart, and I was in Texas, and I was an administrator, and I had kids, and we packed the house, and we sold the house, and we lived with my in-laws, and we came here, and it was hot summer before last. Do you remember? Everyone said, you're from Texas. You should be used to that. I said, I'm from Texas. I'm used to air conditioning. I'm not used to this. It was hot, which I quickly learned in the house, internal heat is a trigger for me. I never had internal heat before. So that was one of my triggers. But I must say, my entire life that summer was a trigger. I was, at any moment, I was very overwhelmed with what I had going. I was so blessed. Look at my teacher friends right there. So blessed to get this wonderful job, but I was on a deadline. I had 2 weeks to unpack my house, get my kids settled, start a new job, and I had also doubled my cost of living. If you came from Texas, or if you know Texas, or any Midwest really, it's all half price there. Houses are half priced, groceries are half priced, dry cleaning is half priced, which I learned. I had gone to pick up my dry cleaning. It had all arrived in wardrobe boxes, smashed. I was getting ready to go to work the next week. I went to get my dry cleaning done. I had treated my husband and had all of his white shirts starched. In Texas, it's $1 to get a piece to get things dry cleaned. So I expected a bill of about $125, $150, which would have broken a dry cleaning record for me. When I went to pick it up, I had my 2 kids, they're looking at the fish tank, and I had a language barrier somewhat with the person, and she said it will be $450 something. I'm thinking I have a language barrier here. Excuse me? And that will be $458. And I said, oh my goodness. Trigger, here it comes. Oh, that's so expensive. I wasn't expecting that. I'm from the South. Oh, honey is what I'm expecting. Honey, oh, a coupon, something, and I get stoic, staring. So as I begin to put away my debit card and get out the credit card, I'm trying to think, I'm not going to be able to come back here again. Nothing, coupon, nothing, I'm thinking, and then we get in the car and I begin to weep. In the back seat, my Audrey, my 8-year-old, and I have a 6-year-old son, my 8-year-old, Mommy, what's wrong? Mommy, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Mommy's crying? Why is Mom crying? What's crying? And what was my reaction? Just stop. Just stop talking. Just give Mommy a minute, because I'm crying on the receipt. I'm trying to figure out how a jacket costs $10.50 to get cleaned, right? Just stop talking. I can't think. Just stop. Silence. They get out their books, they're reading. We leave the parking lot, we're heading back up the mountain to the house, maybe 3/4 of a mile, and I hear my son asks my daughter, what book are you reading? Audrey, what book are you reading? Is that a library book? And what is her response? Stop. I can't think right now. Just stop. Give me a minute just to think. And I pull over the car, and I put it in park, and I turned around and I said, Alec, it was my fault that she just spoke to you that way. I completely modeled that. Let me tell you what's wrong with Mommy. Mommy is on a budget. Mommy was expecting $150. That was almost $500. You know how we don't order pizza anymore? You know how we buy the $3 frozen one? Because we're on a budget. And I spoke to you in a way, and I modeled it, and we talked through it, and it was okay. But it happened that fast. And so again, know your trigger. What is your trigger? Do you pay bills late at night before you go to bed and you're about to have quiet time with your husband and, relax? Should you pay bills together? Maybe not, unless you're very affluent. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe you would enjoy doing that. We won't do that at my house before we're going to have family time. I won't do that before I go to church in the morning. I sort of set aside that time. What else is your trigger? For my kids, hunger. Fatigue. For my husband, hunger. Some of their worst bickering and arguing happens on the way home from church. Why? It's 12:15. Everyone's really, really hungry and maybe needs a nap. So know yourself. I don't want to spend too long on that, but we're going to flavors this entire thing of sometimes we start it and we don't even realize it.